Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been a long time. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time is that you are watching this. This is Mimi, your girl, and this is Go to Mimi. It's been a while since I posted a video here for us, and that is because I have been pretty much busy. Thank you so much for joining me today on this channel. And from now on, we are gonna be talking on Scrum. Yes, Scrum and Agile. So this is my very first my very first Scrum video, and keep an eye out because in the days ahead I'm going to be talking more on Scrum. To those of you who are new, please hit the subscription button and subscribe. And to those of you who are my returning subscribers, I say welcome to you. I say you are a go-to Mimi lover, and I love you too. Remember, every time I blow a kiss, it's for those of you who have already subscribed to this channel. And to those of you joining the family, we say welcome on board. Come, take your seat in the comment section, in the like section, wherever you want to find yourself. You are highly welcome. So today we are going to be talking about Scrum. Yes, we are going to be talking about what Scrum is. Okay? My videos are not going to be long, but they are going to be very powerful. So you don't want to miss it. You want to hit the like, you want to comment, you want to subscribe, you want to share. Today we are talking on Scrum. Yes. What is Scrum? This question, we are answering this question. What is Scrum? Okay. I am going to go into the scrum.org. Yes, scrum.org. That's where I would talk from most of the time, or flip back to Scrum Alliance. As a Scrum Master, I want to make sure that I am giving you facts and not based on opinions only. Yes, I might have opinions that could be worthy of your understanding of Scrum, but I want to first make sure that I give you facts before bringing out my opinion so that you can understand what Scrum is. A lot of time people get confused with what Scrum is, right? So many people get confused with the word Scrum. They don't know what Scrum is. And you know, sometimes when I think I have told somebody that I am a Scrum Master, and she was like, what is a Scrum Master? Or who is a Scrum Master? What does a Scrum Master do? And stuff like that, you know. And I just simply told her that a Scrum Master is somebody who facilitates meetings, somebody who helps. It's like, I said, it's like an event planner. You want to make sure that everything is ready for the wedding that you have been planning, or the event, that whatever the event is that you have been planning. You want to make sure that the chairs have arrived. You want to make sure that the decoration is what the meets specification. You want to make sure that the goal of the wedding is met or is kept by you. If the person getting, if the bride says I want 30 chairs, that is part of the goal. If the bride says my color is green and white, you want to make sure that the decoration stays the same. If she says my color is green and white and you present blue and white, you are now getting that client or that bride upset, right? So basically, a Scrum Master, to my understanding, is someone who facilitates meetings, events. Let me put it that way: who facilitates events, because we are gonna get into that word events, the Scrum events, down the road as we talk. Okay, so to make you understand what Scrum is, or who a Scrum Master is, today we are talking of what is Scrum, right? Now, says that Scrum is a framework within which people can address complex adaptive problems while productively and creatively delivering products to the highest possible value. So basically, like I said before, Scrum is a framework within which people can address complex adaptive problems, right? Now, to my understanding, if someone were to hear about Scrum for the first time, what would they think? How do I want that person to understand and remember what Scrum is all about, right? You have to know that Scrum is a framework, right? So a framework, meaning that this thing, we can call these four sides of this thing a frame, right? This is just a card from a shoe that we got from Johnson's and Murphy. Anyways, I'll just use this. I was supposed to bring a frame here, right? This is like a frame. A frame has four sizes, right? You have different shapes now of and sizes of frames, right? So Scrum is a framework, right, that people can use, I would say, differently. The way Scrum works in one organization is not or may not be the same way that it's practiced in another organization, meaning that it works with your organization, it meets your organization or organizational needs, right? The way Scrum will be used in the healthcare is different from the way Scrum will be used in the gaming industry. It's different from the way Scrum will be used in the tech industry. Although still practicing the same values of Scrum and still following the Scrum guidelines, Scrum is not one size fits all. It works with your organization the way I will not say the way you want, because you have to follow the guidelines to make sure that it is Scrum. You have to actually follow the guidelines and the events and everything. But now, why I say that it's not one size fits all before somebody misinterprets me is because some people can do their daily stand-ups at the beginning of each day, 15 minutes each day they do their stand-up, while others can do their stand-up after lunch each day, while others can do their stand-up at the end of the day, right? That is why I say Scrum is not one size fits all. And also Scrum is very flexible, meaning that you can all work on the same or work on different projects at the same time. While developer A is working on building this product, developer B is working on building this product, like that. So now, to my understanding, or this is my opinion on Scrum to give you a better understanding. In this framework of Scrum, you have different, should I say, different aspects and values, or different things that come together to make Scrum what Scrum is. Different events and different things, including the Scrum. We can call this other square box in here the Scrum. We can call this other square box in here the Scrum guidelines. So even while these events are taking place, they are also keeping in mind the guidelines, that we do not go against the guidelines. These guidelines keep us intact, keeps us in check to make sure that we are following and practicing Scrum. Now, if I were to explain Scrum to a lay person on the street, or someone who is getting into Scrum for the first time, what will I say? I will tell the person that a Scrum Master is somebody that forget about the word master, because sometimes when we hear the word master, we just think big, like this person is the owner of this thing, but master is like master of the ceremony, right? It's like an MC, right? It's like an MC of a ceremony. So a Scrum Master is a facilitator. A Scrum Master is a leader. A Scrum Master is a servant. A Scrum Master is a guidance. I'll put it that way. It's a coach. It's someone that makes sure that things are done the way they are supposed to be done, and things are progressing successfully to meet the objective of the project that you're working on, and also making sure that even though we are trying to meet the deadlines, while remembering the objective and also keeping in mind the project goal, we are also remembering to keep the guidelines of Scrum, also staying in Scrum without making Scrum to lose its value. So now, if I were to explain Scrum to a grandma in the village or a lay person on the street, what will I tell them about Scrum? What is Scrum to my understanding, or in my understanding, what is Scrum? I'll tell them that As a Scrum Master, what you do, or yes, what Scrum is just a way that people use. It's a framework that people use to help them to deliver value to their product. Meaning that we use these methods, or we use this framework. Let me put it like this. We use this framework to make sure that we deliver value to the business and to the product. Right? Meaning, in this framework of Scrum, in this framework of Scrum, or to put in a nutshell, we will say that Scrum requires a Scrum Master to foster an environment where you have the three roles of Scrum is the product owner, the developers, and the Scrum Master. These are the three people that are playing a role using this framework. Remember, we are using this framework and following these guidelines. And they all have their individual roles to play. A product owner's role is completely different from a Scrum Master's role. A developer's role is completely different from a Scrum Master's role, right? But sometimes you can have a product owner that is functioning as a Scrum Master. You can have a developer that is functioning as a Scrum Master. That is what we call a cross-functional team. And sometimes it is advisable for a Scrum Master to understand the roles of these other team members, so that way you stay in check and in sync with all of them who are on your team, with everyone who is on your team. That is why a lot of times we find Scrum Masters being out of practicing, not practicing Scrum, or falling out of the Scrum framework because they get confused with what role a Scrum Master is supposed to play as to what role a developer or a product owner is supposed to play in the team. So, Scrum, the product owner, works for a complex problem into, or puts a complex problem into the product backlog, right? And then the Scrum team turns a selection of the work into an increment of value during a sprint. As we continue to talk further, you will hear me break down these words. Today, like I said, I'm just telling you what Scrum is. Okay, what is Scrum? And as we move along, as we progress in the days ahead, I will break them all to you in ways that you can understand, and you would be able to practice Scrum at your fingertip without anybody even telling you what Scrum is. You would be able to know what Scrum is, because I'm not gonna make it too hard for you to understand, but I'm just gonna give you just my own understanding of how I practice Scrum and how Scrum is supposed to be practiced. Remember, like I said, I'm going to stay giving you the facts before my opinion. Then you can pick whatever you want from it. Okay? So, today, I've mentioned a couple of things about Scrum. I don't want to overload your head today. I think I have talked about Scrum. I have talked about the person who practices Scrum who leads as a Scrum person is a Scrum Master. The person is called a Scrum Master, right? The person is called a Scrum Master. That person is a facilitator. That person is a leader. That person is a servant. That person is a coach. That person is a guide, basically, right? And I said, if I were to explain, let me end by saying this. If I were to explain Scrum to somebody who does not know what Scrum is, I would tell the person, a lay person, I would say, take for example, you have a tailoring workshop, right? You have your tailors. We will call your tailors the developers, and we will call the designers your product owners, right? And then you will call a Scrum Master on that team a Scrum Master. Now, customer A walks into your business and says, hey, Mimi Fashion House, I want to sew a dress. I want it to look like this. I want a skirt and a t-shirt, right? I just want a skirt and a t-shirt. And what happens is that the product owner is listening to that, or the product owner, who becomes the designer in this case. The product owner is the designer of that business, right? He is listening to the description of that dress that I have to say, or that dress that I want to sew. I want that company to deliver to me, right? The product owner has a few questions to ask me. Okay, the skirt and the t-shirt. How long do you want the t-shirt to be? The skirt to be, she says, knee level. The product owner takes note of it, right? He takes note, says she wants a skirt that is at the knee level, and he writes it down. Now, what colors do you want? The client says, or the customer says, I want it to be pink. I want the skirt to be pink, and I want the t-shirt to be white. And the skirt, I want a large. For the t-shirt, I want a medium, right? The product owner is writing all this information so that he will take this information and put it in the product backlog, right? Now, when he takes this information, he gets to the product backlog, he puts on it pink skirt, blue color, pink skirt rather, knee level, white t-shirt, medium, skirt, large, like that. It's on the product backlog. He is the one in charge. The product owner is in charge of the product backlog because he is the one that has received the information from the clients or the stakeholders, the company, whatever the case may be. Like I said, today is just an intro, just giving you that which you need to understand what Scrum is, without beating around the bush or using a lot of technicalities that would just confuse you. But rather, I am just giving you just an idea of how Scrum works, okay, or what Scrum is, okay. Now, this designer, that is the product owner. Remember, there are three roles: the product owner, the developers, and the Scrum Master. I want to tell you how the Scrum Master works, or how it functions, or what Scrum is, okay? Now, this designer, who is functioning as the product owner, has taken the client's information. She wants a pink skirt that is large. She wants it knee level. She wants a t-shirt that is medium, and she wants it white. He writes it on the product backlog. Now comes the developers. The developers now come to the product backlog. What are the developers going to do? These are the product owner here are functioning as the designers, right? They have put the specification there. Now the developers are functioning as the seamstresses, the ones that will cut the materials, the pink material, to make a size L. They know what to do to get that size L. After this person, the designer, has taken all the measurements and everything and has put them in the product backlog, now comes the seamstresses. They take the materials, they cut them to get the fine pink. They have to find a pink material. Developers, the engineers behind it, they have to find the pink material to cut it and to fix it to meet the specifications of what the product owner had put on the product backlog. These are two items, the skirt and the t-shirt. So the developers are working on it. It could be 3 developers, it could be 4 developers, it could be 5 developers, yourself, and then the product owner, right? It's only one Scrum Master on a team. You can only have one Scrum Master on a team, okay? Now, once they have put all of these on the product backlog, for the developers to start working on it, they have to remove the items from the product backlog into the sprint backlog, right? So I don't want to get you a little bit confused, because I will get to that bridge and I'll tell you what these events are, because these are events, right, that are happening. I don't want to get into the sprint events yet. Let's just leave it that it was in the product backlog and then the developers got to it and saw it, right? Now, what is the role of a Scrum Master functioning on all of these information that this client wants for a pink skirt and a white t-shirt. Now the Scrum Master's duty is to make sure that the team is working without any difficulties and they are following the Scrum guidelines. Are they gonna be, the Scrum Master will be asking, are they gonna meet the deadline that client wanted her skirt done by the 5th of this month? Will my team be able to meet the guidelines? Okay, is anyone having difficulties? Oh, okay, DevOps, are you guys okay? Is there anything that I can help you with? This is what the Scrum Master is doing. And then the DevOps say, oh, 2 days ago, my machine stopped working. I don't know, one of the connectors of my machine broke down and I am unable to finish this skirt. That is an impediment. That is an issue that is supposed to be taken care of by the Scrum Master, because guess what? The Scrum Master is there to facilitate that happening, for that dress to be produced from beginning to end without any difficulties, without any problems, so that it can meet deadline. Okay, now the Scrum Master say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that your machine broke down. I will talk to the technical department and hear what they have to say with regards to your machine. In the meantime, is there anyone on the group that can handle what you were doing? And then another developer will say, oh, I'm almost done with my own, let's say I'm almost done with the hemming of the skirt. And when I'm done, I think I'll be done in the next couple of hours. When I'm done, then I'll get into your own work and check it out. And then he gets in it and check it out and say, oh, I just needed to put on the zipper of this dress. And then he puts the zipper on the dress. While he's doing that, you are talking. As the Scrum Master, it is your place. You don't want to slow your team down. It is your place to call the technical department and say, hey, technical department, one of our developers is having an issue with his machine, with his sewing machine, and it is going to slow down the delivery process of this dress on time. Is there anything that you guys can do? Do you guys think that you can fix the machine on time, or do you want to change the machine? You know, and the technical department will be like, okay, I will take a look. I'll take a look and see what we can do. Right? And then they will take a look, and then you will come back to the developer and say, hey, I put in a ticket for you. I have contacted technical department and they say that they are going to look into this issue for you. So it's going to take this couple of hours, and if I will check back with them and then update you. That is basically your work as a Scrum Master. You are making sure that things are done the right way. A developer, a product owner comes to you and say, hey, I do not even understand. I have forgotten everything that this client talked about this address. I don't know if she wanted blue or white or green. It is your place again to check and see and verify what that customer really needed. So you are there to facilitate. You are there to make sure that things are done the right way, and at the end of the day, the customer is satisfied. And these things are done following a process or following events, happenings, from sprint planning to to daily Scrum, and to sprint review and sprint retrospective. So you have 5 Scrum events. You have the sprint, right? Sprint planning, the daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. The next time we come on here, we are going to be talking about each and every one of these phases of Scrum. These phases of Scrum. I call them steps. I call them events of Scrums, right? So that you know what is being done during what event. Thank you very much. I had planned for this video to last for 25 minutes, to last for 10 minutes, but we have gone over. And I hope that you have learned something today. You know that Scrum is a framework that is being used by companies to ease their delivery of products, right? To ease the process of work. Let me put it that way. Right? It is a framework that is used by companies to actively deliver possible value to their business and to the product, right? And to their customers, right? So This framework has events, has artifacts, has values, has the guidelines and everything. And we will talk about it as we go in the days ahead. Remember to always, always love yourself, love God, and love the people around you, because love is a power that nobody can take from you. If you truly love God and you truly love yourself, then you are limitless. Okay? Remember that Scrum is just a framework, and the person who practices Scrum or preaches Scrum is a Scrum Master. The person who spearheads Scrum is a Scrum Master. This Scrum Master helps to guide the team, to facilitate the team, is a servant, serving the team, asking the team, what do you need? What do I have to do to see that you don't have problems along the way? How can I make this okay? Or what do you need? And get the feedback from the team that is made of the product owner and the developers. So 3 people: the Scrum Master, the product owner, and the developers. And I have used the example of a tailoring workshop, or as an organization, whereby the designers stand as the product owners, and remember that the product owners can represent the company or the client. Okay, so don't get confused. The product owners here are standing as the designers of that dress, or that skirt and that t-shirt, while the developers are standing as the seamstresses, the ones that will actually sew those dresses, put those pieces together, cut them, put them together. They are the engineers. Put them together and sew that beautiful skirt that our client wants. Whereas the Scrum Master is that person that makes sure that the dress is moving from one stage to another without any impediment, removing all the roadblocks, the distractions and everything. Say, oh, the thread is finished. The Scrum Master has to go in and put an order for thread to be shipped to the company. Like that. That is what the Scrum Master does. So to those of you who have been confused, I'm sure that you have learned something today. Who and what a Scrum Master who and what a Scrum Master is. And in the next video, I'm definitely going to really talk much about what the things that a Scrum Master gets to do in a team. Thank you very much. Hit the subscription button if you've not subscribed. I'm so happy to be here with you. Remember, love yourself, love God, and love everyone around you, because love is the greatest gift that God has ever given man, or has ever given man. Bye-bye.